We're back. Welcome in Broncos country to the Broncos Breakdown, and we are live here on the channel. Thanks for hanging out with me today. My name is Moose. The title of today's live stream is fitting, although maybe not entirely what you want to hear. Yes, Broncos football is back. The rookies have officially reported to training camp today, but we won't start getting actual updates until July 31st. The Broncos are in what I call install phase right now, so learning the playbooks, getting their locker room set up, or the lockers set up, everything is just happening all in kind of like chunks. So we'll actually get updates, on the field updates, starting next Friday, the 31st. But nonetheless, we still have Broncos football back. It is official. So do me a huge favor, if you could, if you've just joined, hit that thumbs up icon. Let's get more Broncos fans in the building, shall we? Drop a comment down below if how excited you are, I should say, for Denver Broncos football. In fact, if you really want to play along, give me a DB4L down in the comment section down below. I'll give you some shout-outs as we welcome in our glorious producer, Mr. J.D. Sanchez. What up, brother?
What's up, Moosey? As I get my headset up.
Yes, you are getting your headset all set up. Hey, it's your Friday today. JD's going to be taking some well-deserved vacation time here tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Starting tomorrow, I should say. It's not just tomorrow.
Yeah. Starting after this work shift.
Ernie saying, go Broncos country. Only think Broncos big, not 31 teams small. Nash says, what up, Moose? What up, Nash? Good to see you, man. Peter saying Broncos, Nate. No. Let's change that, Pat. Or Peter, excuse me. Let's change that to Broncos country rather than Broncos nation.
Broncos country.
Danny Galvin saying he's effing ready to go. Anthony, what's up, brother?
Good.
Patrick giving his DB4L. Chris getting his DB4L. April, good to see ya. She says, hi, Moose. DB4L all the way. DB4L. Sixto. DB4L will be there at training camp. Let's go, brother. Let's go. Hey, if you see some, if you could take some photos, send them to me. If you want to use my email, mustakis@chatsports.com. Oh, that's okay, Peter. Don't worry about it. If you're a new Broncos fan, welcome to the Broncos Breakdown. That's okay. It's fine. Hey, every person learns at their own pace. You were one of those people, too.
I was about to say, I didn't say, I said Broncos Nation one
That's
time.
okay. That's all right. No worries, as long as he gets it right now. Broncos country, always. Broncos country.
Always.
Dave saying DB4L, orange and blue. Let's go. What up, Dave? Good to see you. I'm excited, man. I can't tell you how ready. You know, we actually had signings today. Not for the Broncos. Because trust me, I would have been on it. We had the Patriots made some signings today. The Browns made a signing. The Browns signed Damari Mathis, former Bronco. Sorry.
Not very good.
Yeah, he was not good. But the Browns did sign Damari Mathis. Yeah, Patrick, he's just a new fan. It's okay. It's okay. Listen, it happens. It happens. Not everybody comes in at their own pace. If he's a Broncos fan now, let's welcome him in. Jabeezy saying DB4L. What's up, Jabeezy? Sixto. Hey, I appreciate that, Sixto. I really do. C. Chang saying DB4L. Sharon saying Broncos fan from South Dakota since 1964.
Dang.
She's a year older than my dad.
Been a Bronco fan for a while.
DB4L from Spain, says RVB. Or Ben, I should say.
Ben.
Dang,
from Spain.
Alpha Wolf saying DB4L down here in Florida, holding it down for us. Let's go.
Alpha. There you go.
Sula saying Broncos for life, hashtag Cali.
Love to see everyone getting their DB4Ls in the comments.
Yeah, you got to love it, man.
Gotta love it.
Hey, listen, we're going to need as many DB4Ls as possible because, obviously, we've got preseason action coming up. Mm-hmm. We are going to be going live for the Hall of Fame game, although it's not with the Broncos, right?
It's
Cardinals.
Football.
It's football.
It's football.
Cardinals versus Panthers. JD and I are going to be live here on the channel for it. We've got plenty of football action coming your way over the next couple of months.
What day is that again?
The 6th Thursday.
Okay.
It's a Thursday, August 6th. So not next Thursday, but the Thursday after that. Yes.
And then the following week is first week of.
No, well, that'll be our first preseason
our first
game.
week.
Yeah, the 13th.
First 13th? I thought it was 14th.
Maybe it is the 14th. It's one of those days.
It's one of those
days.
It's
either 13th
that
or 14th.
Friday.
Yeah. All right, let's tell them what we got on the agenda for today.
Let's tell them.
So because training camp is officially back, we're going to do a lot of training camp-centered videos today. Mm-hmm. Sneaky training camp breakout candidates. 5 players that I believe could have huge training camps, which will put them on the coach's radar for bigger roles this upcoming season. Then, of course, we've got early cut candidates. I do this once before preseason. I do this once after preseason. And then, of course, bleeding off of the cut candidates and the breakout candidates, my very first of 2026, 53-man roster projection for the Broncos.
I've been wondering.
Unfortunately, JD, the 53-man roster projection is going to look a lot like it did last year because the Broncos are the team in the NFL that brought back the most of their team from last year. And 87% of the team from 2025 is back.
And they brought in one new face.
One outside new face.
Tyson Anderson.
And then the rest, Jalen Waddle, technically.
Aside from, rookies.
Right. They didn't sign Jalen Waddle. They traded for him. But, and then, of course, the rookies.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, by the way, I've got my nice little Broncos Stanley. No lid today. I can't find the lid. I think I lost it. I don't know where it is.
You're going to have to get a new one.
I literally found this. So, my wife had taken all of the stuff that we moved from our old place to our new place, and this was, right at the top. And it had the lid on it the last time we were at the old place, and I can't find the lid. So, it's just...
Yeah, I feel like even the last time you had that, you had a lid on it.
I might have. Either way, it still does the same job.
Cup's a cup.
Ruben. Okay, cool. Nice to meet you, Ruben. Andres, here in Suarez, Mexico. We got international fans, bro.
We do.
I love it.
Spain, Mexico.
Oh, Jake Peter coming in with the $2 soup. What up, twin? What up, blood? How we doing today, he says. I am doing just fine. Just fine and dandy. You know why? Because we got Broncos football back. I heard Joe Milton wants to be a Bronco after seeing JD on Broncos Breakdown. Have any comments on that, JD?
I mean...
You a big Joe Milton stan?
I mean, got an arm.
He does have an arm. There's no doubt about that. He's got a rifle.
Is it accurate, though?
No. No. All right. We got 66 people in the building right now. Let's put up Jake Peters' super chat real quick, and then we'll start today's show. And then, after
I was going to say while it's still loading.
Oh, okay,
so
cool. Let's just tell them, let's do that. Let's tell them about our friends over at Prize Picks because we would not be able to go live ever if it wasn't for our friends over at Prize Picks. If you're playing, watching, doing whatever it is throughout your day, you got to be downloading the Prize Picks app immediately. And sign up with code HMA where right now you play $5, you get $150 in lineups if you win that first lineup. I'll say that one more time. You sign up with code HMA, and when you play your first $5 lineup, you could win $150 in lineups if that lineup hits. It really is this simple. You pick 2 or more players on a few stat projections, you lock it in, and you watch your money multiply. Up to 2,000 times your money while playing on Prize Picks. And with the new social feed feature, copy that lineup in a single click. Just download the Prize Picks app immediately. Use code HMA to play $5, get $150 instantly in lineups when you win that first one. Again, all of that in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. What up, twin? Moose, he says, Mr. Jake Peter. How we doing today? Moose is doing just fine and dandy. Why? We are inching closer and closer and closer to Broncos football. Could not be more excited about it, my dude. And then Don coming in with the $20 super chat. What up, Don? Good to see you, buddy. He's a real one. He's going to be very, very frequent on the live watch parties. He'll be here all the time. He joins us for every game, which is awesome.
Love to hear that.
Love to hear it. You got to love to hear it.
You just love it.
You got to love it. And he says, let's go. DB4L. DB4L for you, Don Sappington. I'm going to make sure you get a little extra love in the raffle that we've got coming up during the preseason when we
Yep.
are giving away a Jalen Waddle jersey.
It's going to be nice. It's going to be sick.
It is going to be sick indeed. All right, my friend, you ready to jump in?
Yeah, just about here.
Just about. Take your time, man. We got time. We've got time. Well, and that's another reason why we're going live today, by the way. Usually we go live on like Thursdays or Fridays, mostly been Fridays recently, but JD is going on vacation tomorrow, so he will not be with us on the ones and twos for Thursday or Friday, but you will be back Monday.
Well, you're off Friday too.
That is true. We are off Friday.
Yeah.
That's right. We have Chat Sports Day.
Yeah, one of our company holidays.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, company days off.
I completely forgot that tomorrow's my Friday.
Yeah.
That just makes it a little bit better.
Just a little.
How is Mrs. Moose and Baby Moose, says Sharon. Mrs. Moose is doing great. Mrs. Moose is in the second trimester officially, and she is in the phase where everything and anything that she can eat, she is putting in her mouth. So it is like no joke. Every 30 minutes, she's hungry. And to be expected, she's growing a life. So like last night we had dinner. We had spaghetti, and I made spaghetti for us. And she finished off her bowl of spaghetti, which wasn't huge, but probably, average size. And no joke, 10 minutes after she got done, she was like, "Do we have any candy?" And I went, "What kind of candy?" She goes, "I really want like gummy bears."
Oh,
so we went to the
good.
gas station and we got her gummy bears
Nice.
because she was craving gummy bears. So she's doing well.
Yeah.
And so is Baby Moose. Baby Moose is very healthy, very strong heartbeat like me. Very excited to meet him. He's going to be the joy of my life. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it, brother. Let's jump into some Broncos football. Enough about the sappy Moose. No more sappy Moose talk. Let's jump into Broncos football, shall we? I thought this day would never come. Broncos come. Oh, hold on. That didn't pick up. Sorry. Restart it. It didn't pick up on the levels weren't spiking. Now they are. Yeah, it was just there was something wrong with it. Just start it over one more time. You're good. Sorry about that, folks. Technical difficulties. Mic levels weren't popping. Now they are. We're good. I thought this day would never come, Broncos country. We are back. The rookies have officially reported to training camp at the time of this recording today, and we have got a whole slew of Broncos training camp dates for you to be aware of. Welcome in to the Broncos Breakdown, presented by Prize Picks. Thank you so much for hanging out with your guy, Moose. Today's show is going to be centered around some training camp news. 5 sneaky training camp standouts that I believe will stand out for the Broncos this year. Let's go back to last year very briefly. Who were the biggest names that stood out last year's training camp? Troy Franklin was a huge name. Jarrett Stidham was another huge name. There was a lot of players that really made their mark as to how good they were going to be in that 2025 season. R.J. Harvey was another really big training camp standout. And look how all of them performed. All had great years. So these 5 players, if they have good training camps, I believe you are seeing big things coming from them. But before we get into the list, we are so back. So entirely back. We've got a giant thumb to prove it. So like today's video, if you're watching during the live show, hit that thumbs up icon. Let's get more Broncos fans into the stream. And if you're watching during our regularly scheduled programming, let's get 500 likes on today's episode. Let's start the list. No more jibber jabber from your guy Moose. Number 5, Caleb Lohner. Now, you're going to see a trend on this list. I don't believe I have too many rookies with one exception. Caleb Lohner is entering year 2, though, and he was unbelievably impressive during Broncos minicamp. Sean Payton said it himself. In fact, I voted him as like the biggest mega winner during the offseason when it came to the younger players, mostly because, according to Sean, he looks like a completely different player. He's bulked up. He's got more football skill. He's really coming into his own. And he's already a tremendous athlete. 6'7", 256, we'll call it 260 pounds. Here's what Payton said about his time during minicamp and OTAs. He looks entirely different in this camp. In fairness to him, That was a basketball prospect that had limited snaps. So 1 year into the program, what he's doing now, how he's moving, everything looks entirely different. There's a physical aspect to how he plays. So for year 2 and Caleb Lohner, I've come up with a couple of prerequisites, I would say is the best way to describe this. Activation to the 53-man roster should be your main goal. Then some sub and jumbo packages, right, where you're doing a bunch of different, like 2 to 3 tight end looks, red zone looks as well. And I would say if you could play about 20% of the snaps this season, that's a really good goal. Remember, he's still raw. It's still going to take time for him to really get into his own for a guy who hasn't played much football. But looking at the Broncos tight end depth chart, there is easily a hole here where he can fill in. He can easily get a tight end 3 spot. He could easily get a tight end 4 spot. It is a wide open room in tight ends 3 and 4. Ingram and Troutman, they're solidified. The others, up for grabs, as much as I love Justin Joly and Dallin Bentley. The hype for Lohner is at an all-time high right now. If he's got a good camp, I do think he makes the 53. I do. Does that mean he's going to play a bunch? Remains to be seen. We'll have to wait and see how good he performs. But I do think with a great training camp, you will see a great preseason and then ultimately an activation onto the 53-man roster. And like I said, he put on 15 pounds. That's a lot. Like, that is a significant amount of weight from last year's pre-draft combine. All good things here for the Denver Broncos. Let's jump in to the next part of the list, or excuse me, number 4 on this list. You can bring that up, JD. We have some time before we get into our friends over at Prize Picks. So if we're going on to number 4 on our list, we're going to flip over to the defensive side of the ball. And I think Savion Jones could be a sneaky training camp breakout. Mostly because last year, you didn't hear a lot about Savion Jones. He was very quiet. And I think on the field and off the field, he's just not a player that attracts the camera or the mic. The camera's the wrong word. The microphone, right? He's not a very outspoken player. He's very laid back. He's kind of reserved. And that's okay. Not every single player needs to be like that. But looking at the profile, man, 6'5", 289, 22 years old, 33.5-inch arms. I mean, his broad jump was great. Bench press was good. There's so much to mold here. And I think he's just a sleeping giant waiting to happen. Now, I got more to say on Savion Jones coming up here in just a moment. Trust me, you don't want to go anywhere. Before I get to that, though, I do have to remind you guys that to keep the lights on, today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. I be playing every single day. There's no doubt about that. Right now, my focus is on baseball. But you know what? Broncos football is right around the corner. NFL football right around the corner. And, of course, college football. So I'm going to be very active over the next couple of months. And this is why you need to do it. They've got something brand new. If you sign up right now and use code HMA and you play your first $5 lineup, you get $150 in lineups if that first lineup wins. That is crazy. Now, speaking of, how do you work this around? Like, how do you make one? You pick 2 or more players on their stat projections, you lock it in, and then you watch your money multiply. It really is that simple. So do yourself a favor. Download the app today. Copy this lineup in a single click with the new social feeds feature, but use code HMA when you sign up, okay? Play your first $5 lineup, get $150 in lineups when you win your first lineup. All of this is going to be in the comments and description of today's video. Make sure that you use that link that I've put down there. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. So George Payton and the coaching staff feel very strongly about replacing John Franklin Myers, and one of the players that they have noted in that 3-man rotation, Malcolm Roach, Tyler Onyedem, and Savion Jones, is Savion Jones. Like, Savion is going to be someone that needs to take that next step. The traits just jump off the page to you. I just read you the entire draft profile. Like, at 6'5", almost 300 pounds, this guy's got legitimate upside to be not only a great pass rusher, but a great run stuffer as well. Look at his RAS score. I went back to find this. This is unbelievable. Size grade, elite. Speed grade, great. His composite explosion grade, okay, it's good. Is he going to win all the one-on-ones? No, probably not. But you can't tell me that based off of his last year at LSU that there isn't something here. 40 tackles, 7.5 for loss, 4.5 sacks. Even if he's not quite the pass rusher that JFM is, I still think seeing Savion Jones in an expanded role is something that all Broncos fans want and need to see, because at this point, he's played 33 snaps in his career. Not nearly enough. So I'll ask you this question. It might not be on Savion, but it is a question just for you. Which Bronco do you think has a standout training camp? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Let's move on to our third sneaky training camp breakout player, and I've got Jahdae Barron staying on the defensive side of the ball, but I'm flipping over to defensive back, more specifically, the cornerback. Now, to kind of accurately break down Jahdae Barron, I think we have to go back to college, because there's a lot of people that are already labeling him a bust, and I think it is way too early and way too lazy to say that. Let's go back to his time at Texas. Allowed a completion percentage of 54.4%. No touchdowns allowed. 5 INTs. A 33.1 NFL passer rating when he was targeted. And he won the nation's top DB award, the Jim Thorpe Award. I mean, guys, we're talking about one of the best, if not the best corner in the nation in 2025. And then he goes to the Broncos. His rookie season isn't quite what we expect, but there was a lot of positionless football going on with Jahdae Barron. Tons. I mean, and these aren't even bad numbers. He was targeted 43 times, allowed 28 receptions, 293 yards allowed, 1 INT, only 2 touchdowns, and 3 pass breakups. Like, it wasn't an awful season. It was just not quite what we expected from a first-round pick. Now, Sean Payton believes that he's best fitted for the outside. That's why they moved him to the outside, and it's also why he said Jahdae Barron can compete at outside corner. I think this. The biggest problem with Jahdae Barron is they didn't really know where to put him last year. And Jaquan McMillan had such a great season that he has solidified that nickel spot. But it almost felt like throughout the season they were like, hey, you're just really good at football. Go out, cover this area, cover the tight end, close out, and just make plays. And unfortunately for Jahdae Barron, you're not really focusing or hyper-focusing on one part of your game when that happens. You're just told to go make plays. And I think that did him a disservice. I think he needs to stick to one specific position. If it's nickel, great. If it's outside boundary corner, great. I think they want to switch him to the outside. I really do. But look at this. I mean, led Texas with 11 PBUs in 2024. Tied for 4th in interceptions that year. I mean, he is so damn talented. You just have to wait and see what the kid's got. Is he going to be Pat Surtain? Probably not. How many people are? But is there a spot or a legitimate chance that he takes Riley Moss's job? Yes. Yes, of course there is. And we shouldn't be naive to think that that's not a possibility. All right, final 2. Let's move in. Terry and York. I told you guys I didn't want to put a bunch of rookies on this list. I'm going to make a quick exception for Terry and York. Mostly because he's a UDFA, and I just think he's exactly what the Broncos could use as a coverage linebacker. The story is great. Terry and York, everybody doubts him because of the size, only 5'10", 227 pounds, but you get so much more than just somebody who's that size. You get a team leader, a captain at Texas A&M, unbelievable awareness and reaction speed, great in coverage, and a good tackler. Yes, he might not have the size that you're looking for, but he's still a nasty player. I mean, he competes with the very best of all the linebackers that got drafted this last year. I mean, take a look at this. Is your passes defended per game versus tackles per game. So if you're far right like Bryce Betcher was, you're a pretty damn good player. Terry and York's right in the middle. He wasn't bad. He wasn't good. I shouldn't say he wasn't good. He wasn't bad. He wasn't mediocre. He was amongst some of the very best linebackers that did get drafted. And this is evidence by some draft analysts saying that he was a 4th-round talent. But nobody viewed him as a 4th-round size. So what do? They let him fall, they let him fall, they let him fall. Nobody drafts him, and then boom, signs with the Broncos. One of the highest-paid UDFAs in the class. I think he's going to be great. And looking at the Broncos linebacker depth chart, it's a wide-open hole behind Alex Singleton and Justin Stranad. If you're going to keep 4 linebackers, inside linebackers, that is, you can easily put in Terry and York and Red Murdoch. There's no doubt. And then finally, on my list, Marvin Mims Jr., #1 sneaky training camp breakout. Whoa, Moose. Marvin Mims doesn't need to do that. He's already broken out, hasn't he? Yes, but I've got a different version of this. Do you remember how good Troy Franklin was last year in training camp? I think you're going to see that from Marvin Mims this year. I mean, every single practice, Troy Franklin was being mentioned over and over again. They were like, God, he just looks so good. That's what I think you're going to see from Marvin Mims this year. And I know that the coaching staff already views him very highly. Payton said it himself. They're always thinking about ways to get Marvin Mims involved in the game plan, in the plays. And my guy Jeff here said it perfectly. He's the most underutilized player on the team. I don't think it's necessarily close either. I mean, you see Cortland Sutton. Yes, you see Jalen Waddle, who's going to be your #1. But then wide receiver 3 is open. Pat Bryant, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims. Who's going to take it? I think Marvin's got a legit chance to do this. I think bringing in Jalen Waddle creates more opportunities for Marvin Mims to showcase himself as a wide receiver, not just as a special teamer. I mean, last season, let's just take Marvin Mims' last year, for example. Last season, he only had 379 offensive snaps, 51 targets in 379 offensive snaps. That's egregious. That is egregious. And then I'll take it one step further with you. Let's go to the snap count with the other wide receivers. Marvin Mims was lower by everybody, including rookie Pat Bryant. No disrespect to Pat. It's proof that Marvin Mims is being underutilized. He's got so much more talent than anybody actually gives him credit for. He was barely on the field as a wide receiver. Not talking about his on the field as a special teamer, right? Gadget player, returner, all of that is excellent. The most egregious thing, though, that I could possibly see, if we go for or from what Marvin Mims averaged in 2024 in yards per catch, 17.1 yards per catch to 8.7. Do you think there was a massive drop-off in talent? Nah. Mostly because I don't think they used him nearly enough. That's going to change. So look for Marvin Mims to have a breakout training camp. And that's why we're back. Got a ton of stuff coming your way. Like today's video if you could for me, Broncos country. Until next time, subscribe to the channel. A quick little mile-high salute. Be cool. Sweet. Yum, yum, yum. What's up? You laughing at me? That's okay. You're what? Oh, did it? Oh. No, that's fine. No worries. I figured something was up because you were like, yeah, you were moving around down there, and I was like, something's going on, but I just started staring at the camera a little bit more.
Yeah,
I
I
was
was just like, oh my God, that was the worst time for Google to sign me out.
True. True. Oh, man.
We got through it, though.
What'd you guys think? Good first one? Good first
show.
episode?
Y'all like that one? Y'all like that?
Dr. Checkmate says he's enjoying his barbecue wings. Oh, we got some super chats
we
to
do.
get to. What's going on,
got some
cornbread?
We do got some supers. Got some supers while we're
Big old cornbread.
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 Let's see. There we go. Got cornbread super.
Oh, there's the first one. My secret sauce is Dallin Bentley, a missing ingredient to a great taste. I like Dallin Bentley a lot.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a little bit of what Caleb Lohner was last year. It's like a draft and stash. I think they're going to give him some more time. I could be way wrong. That still might be Caleb Lohner, but that's going to be the tight end 4 spot, in my opinion, that you're going to be looking out for. Lohner versus Bentley. Who's going to win that? I like Caleb Lohner a lot, man. I do. I really do. But shout out to you, Cornbread, because you got another one coming in. $10 super chat he says, I'm a 100% Marvin Mims believer.
There it is.
Boop, boop. Shout out to you, Cornbread.
Big shout out.
100% a Marvin Mims believer.
I believe.
Do you believe in life after love?
And you wake up. Let's see.
Oh, there we go. All righty. Second one, we are doing cut candidates. Cut candidates. I don't love to do cut candidates too much.
Not too often.
Not
one we do too often. Let's see. Get us set up here.
Cut candidates coming up.
Cut it.
By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'm sure everyone in here is already subscribed. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe for more breakdowns of your favorite team.
Yes.
All right, we've got cut candidates up next.
Up next on the menu for us here.
Yes. You spelt Bo Lever backwards? Oh, I before E? Yeah. Except after C?
Bo Lever.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yep. Training camp practice officially kicks off next week. And usually I do this episode twice during the off season. It's not my favorite one to do, mostly because I don't like making sure that guys feel like, hey, you're going to be off the team. But one pre-training camp cut candidates video and then one post-training camp cut candidates video. Take a shot for every time I said cut candidates. Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown presented by Prize Picks. You're hanging out with your guy, Moose. Thank you so much for joining me. I've got some requirements on this episode, some prerequisites, if you will. The player, or the players, I should say, that I am going to be bringing up today must have been on the 53-man roster last year at some point. It didn't mean that they had to be on it the entire year. If they got called up from the practice squad, they can be on this list. This player also, or these players, cannot be rookies. They're in their own class. I don't think it's fair to bring up rookies in this class because they're in a different league right now. But subscribe for all Denver Broncos training camp updates because we will have them every single day, all days through training camp. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. All right, I don't want to waste any more time. Let's jump right into the list. Pre-camp cut candidates. Number one on this list, I've got Lil Jordan Humphrey. Brought him in halfway through the season last year. And, came back to Denver, felt nice because the Broncos needed another wide receiver to bring in for the blocking game throughout the season, right? Because Pat Bryant was getting more heavily involved in the passing game. But let's be honest, there was a moment last year in the playoffs against the Bills where Lil Jordan completely let us down. And it was that, end zone pass, Bo Nix, back shoulder, perfectly thrown, and it just went right through his hands. Now, of course, you cannot say that one play has defined the entire play, right? Because clearly he made up for it later in the game by catching another touchdown pass. But I will say this, Lil Jordan was brought on to block, not to be a dynamic wide receiver threat. Does that make sense? We brought him in for a specific purpose. Would it be great if every once in a while he caught a big play? Yeah, of course, and he did. He caught some really nice passes. But I think we went out and made a corresponding move this offseason to replace Lil Jordan. Hakeem Butler. 6'5", 230 pounds. This guy has legit talent. And it's just unfortunate that we only saw it in the UFL. But he signed from the St. Louis Battlehawks. If you need some quick info about him, here you go. 2019 fourth-round pick by the Cardinals. He ended up getting injured really early on in his career. Never really made his way back onto a 53-man roster. But he's 6'5", 230, 240, depending on when you weigh him. Two-time Offensive Player of the Year for the Battlehawks. He led all UFL wide receivers with 652 yards last year. And he's the all-time receiving yards record holder in the UFL. I will say that again. All-time receiving yards record holder at 2192. Limited sample size, new league. That's still an amazing accomplishment, which tells me one thing. Butler's probably a slightly better receiving threat than Lil Jordan is. Now, I'm not saying either of these guys are going to take up dynamic or pressing roles in the wide receiver room, right? Because Cortland Sutton, Waddle, Franklin, Mims, Bryant, those are your power 5. The 6th one, specialty role, right? Block. Be a dominating presence. Be someone that commands another player. And if you do get open, if you do stretch the field, if you have a play that's designed for you, get called upon and perform, right? Execute when your number is called. Here's what Clutch Points said about Hakeem Butler. The Broncos added Hakeem Butler, who impressed during his time in the UFL. Butler is another large receiver capable of blocking, winning contested catches, and fulfilling some of the same roles that Humphrey had handled. It's almost an identical player, stylistically speaking. So here's what it's really going to come down to. Who's got the better camp, right? If Lil Jordan has it, okay, great. Then Hakeem Butler is a practice squad candidate. And by the way, I do think Lil Jordan probably goes onto the practice squad if he does get cut. So it's not like we're just going to dump him on the side of the road and say, thanks for everything. But who's going to have the better camp? That's the real question. All right, I've got my other 3 coming up here in just a moment, but I do have to remind you guys, today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Playing every single day, loving every single day, because Prize Picks allows me to win up to 2,000 times my money while watching sports. It really is that great. And what you can do right now is if you sign up with code HMA and you play your first $5 lineup, if it wins, you get $150 in lineups. That is unbelievable. Brand new from Prize Picks. They just trotted it out. Make sure you download it right now. But in case you're unfamiliar with how to play, you pick a player, 2 or more, stat projection, more or less, lock it in. It is that easy. It takes like 30 to 45 seconds to make a lineup. But what you got to do is do Uncle Moose a favor. Download it today, please. Use code HMA to sign up. Play $5, get $150 in lineups if your first lineup hits. I'm going to have all of that in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Next on my list, pre-camp cut candidates. Pre-camp cut candidates. I have a lot of alliteration there. Tyler Bidet. Look, last year I thought it was a nice, secondary role, tertiary role, if you will, for Tyler Bidet, but now the Broncos running back room is just so loaded. I actually think that this RB4 competition might even see that neither of these guys make the 53. I think one of them does, but there's a possibility, right? Tyler Bidet and Jaleel might be practice squad candidates. But if I had to pick out of these two, I'd probably go with the better runner of the football, and that's Jaleel. Now, he's definitely got some pros to his game. There's no doubt about it that Bidet has some really good stuff. And he's also bulked up, apparently. Oh, no, excuse me. Jaleel has bulked up a little bit. That's what Rachel Vigil said. So if Jaleel's bulking up a little bit, then, hey, maybe there are some more opportunities in an emergency break glass in case of sort of deal. But Bidet last year did not have a good time when he was on the field. I don't mean he didn't have fun. I mean it just wasn't great. Bidet dropped 5 passes on 31 targets. That is a 16% drop rate. That ain't good. It's not good at all. Now, I did say he has some pros to his game. His best trait is his pass protection. There's no doubt. In fact, there was a moment during the Bills game, according to multiple reports, where Sean Payton drew up a fake punt call, and Tyler Bidet actually called it off because he didn't like the coverage formation, which ended up helping the Broncos because the very next possession, Jaquan McMillan picked off that unbelievable pass on Brandon Cooks, and the rest is history. But if your best trait is pass protection, I got news for you, brother. That's why we drafted Jonah Coleman. It's just, it's a crowded room now. And J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, Jonah Coleman, they're absolutely on the roster, which leaves one more if you are going to keep 4 running backs. So right now, this is probably how I have it. Right? J.K., R.J., Jonah, and then Jaleel. Anything could change depending on how the camp goes, but I'd still say Jaleel gets it for me, at least right now. No offense to Tyler Bidet whatsoever. Which significant Bronco do you think gets cut? I'm not talking about guys that won't ever see the 53-man roster. I mean players that you could see that they could make it, they might not. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Coming up, number 3. I've had him on my list before, but I'm going to say it again. Matt Parrott. mostly because I think the Broncos now at offensive line are just loaded. They have some really good depth. And I know Parrott would be depth, but still, I just don't think that there's room for him. In fact, last year when he came in at guard for Ben Powers, he was just not good at all. Tons of penalties in that Eagles game. It wasn't a good year for him. And then he got injured and didn't really play the rest of the season. But we also drafted Cage Casey, who can play anywhere, right? You can play him at left tackle, left guard, center, right tackle. He can play all over the line. And I think mostly the profile that you see from Cage Casey is jumping off the chart at you, right? Over 2,700 career snaps played, 6 pressures, 0 sacks in 2024, 80.1 pass blocking grade, stout anchor, controlled footwork as a run blocker. He's got so much to his game that I absolutely love. But in the interest of keeping it, okay, well, Moose, Casey's most likely going to move inside to guard. What about the left tackle backup? What about the rotational left tackles? How about Tyler Miller? He's a UDFA from Iowa State, 6'9", 335. I'm not saying he's going to make the team, but if you're going to go with someone, go with the corn-fed behemoth. This dude's huge. 6'9", 335. Now, size isn't everything, right? You need skill, you need mobility, you need speed, agility. But, man, I love that frame, man. He is gigantic. And he had some pretty good grades. His pass blocking grade was really good, 71.7. 58.5. Overall grade 64. I'm not saying like he's going to be your starter over Garrett Bowles anytime soon. He probably won't. But if you are going to go someone who is just going to fill out depth, why not make it somebody who's got the upside like this? We know what Parrott is. It's just not very good. My final one. Jarrett Stidham. I know. There's a lot of you that are not going to like me after this, but I see it as a potential cut candidate. Here's why. First things first, Sam Ehlinger is far outperforming him, or at least was, during OTAs and mandatory minicamp. Now, I'm always been team trade Jarrett Stidham, right? I still am on that boat. I still think if you are going to move him, get something for him, but we haven't heard anything about Stiddy, except for the fact that he's eating hot and spicy orange chicken from Panda Express recently. That was a news story that came out today. Fun fact. I just think Stidham, for a guy who is as expensive as a backup as he is, I would much rather have a backup that's performing better and is cheaper. That's Sam Ehlinger. I mean, here's what Luka Evans said during mandatory minicamp. Take a look. Could be a real quarterback 2 battle between Jarrett Stidham and Sam Ehlinger. I'm not pulling this out of my ass, and this is no shot against him or recency bias because of the AFC Championship game. I really do believe that he would be a lot more appealing to the Broncos and to me if he took a pay cut, right? Because right now he's an $8 million cap hit. If you cut him, you save $4.5 million. So you only eat $3.5 million of dead money. It just makes too much sense if he doesn't have a good camp. Or if he even does have a good camp and a good preseason, if Ehlinger's better, play Ehlinger. Put him in at QB2. He's cheaper. We need to do everything that we can to help cap flexibility for 2027. Personally, though, like I told you, I would trade Stiddy. But if you can't find a buyer, why not just go with Sam? And just say, hey, Stidham, thanks for everything, man. Good luck. He'll sign with someone. He'll jump onto somebody's practice squad immediately and probably get elevated. He'll find another job. I'm not worried about that, but I just think if we're talking about what benefits the Broncos the most, right now it's probably Sam Ehlinger. All right, that's all I got for you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up icon if you could. And as always, Broncos country, quick little mile high salute. Be cool. Tony. Denver Trav, what up, brother? Get Stidham cut, or Stidham getting cut from Donnie Boy. What up, Don? Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because when you super chatted in, we had just started, and I was like, oh, Don knows.
Yeah, he knows.
Donnie Boy knows. Yeah, look, here's the ultimate takeaway, like I had said at the very end of the episode. I don't care who QB2 is. I would much rather have the guy, though, that is less expensive and is playing better. And if Ellinger's playing better right now and he's less expensive, 2 + 2 = 4, guys. Like, you can't convince me. Yeah, you can't convince me that an $8 million, he's more expensive than Bo.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is in a bucket, right?
Yeah.
Like in and of itself, it's crazy because Bo's QB1. Bo's on a rookie deal, so that's why. But still, if your most expensive quarterback is Jarrett Stidham and we know what we get from him, just cut ties, save a little bit more towards the cap. You only have 11.5 right now in cap heading into 2027. At least let some of that roll over. Try to get it up to about 16 before the season starts. Make a couple other tough decisions on the roster, and then boom, maybe in 2027 you've got 30 to 35 million to play with. Boss Man coming in with a $20 super chat. What up, Boss Man? Great to see you, buddy. Kippy says we haven't seen nothing yet from Marvin Mims. I'm super high on Marvin Mims this year, man. I am. You and I have gone back and forth. Bossman Jay has been the first one that really has kind of like brought up what Marvin Mims' role is going to be this year. And it's going to be so different, in my opinion, and his opinion, than what it looked like last year. I think it was egregious how little and infrequently they used Marvin Mims as a wide receiver last year. He's got so much more talent than I think anybody gives him credit for. And most Marvin Mims haters, I won't even say haters, non-believers, will say that he's got no route tree. I don't think that's true at all. Over the middle of the field, his PFF grade was sensational. They just never targeted him because, truthfully, they lacked that ability last year. Bo didn't throw nearly as over the field as many times over the field as he should have. That'll change with Jalen Waddle. There's going to be so many different looks.
Yeah, he has a lot of weapons to throw to, man. There's going to be a lot of ways they can get around a defense.
True. I've written 3 articles on Mims, and I'm not an article writer. Big facts. Big facts.
Hey, man, when you're really passionate.
Shout out to you, boss, man. Thanks for the 20, man. I appreciate you
it.
supporting the channel and me, my dude. My love to Lauren in Denver. Denver Trav, did you leave already? You better not have. He's the homie.
The homie.
All right, last one. What do we got on the agenda, Mr. J Double D?
Last one we got here for y'all. Moose's first 53-man roster projection. His first of the season, or for the season.
Yeah, so I only do this twice, by the way. I only do this twice. So I will do this once before training camp and one time either after training camp or right before the season begins. I only do this twice. Jay got double Ds. Hey, he does work out frequently.
I do work out a lot.
Voss, what up?
Got a super.
It's good to see you, Voss. Thank you for the $5 super chat. We'll put you up on screen before we start.
Getting that to load. There we go. Let's see. Boom, boom.
Voss. Underscore Voss underscore. Hey, Moose. Hi, Voss. Love the show. Thank you. Appreciate that. Can you hug JD on camera to show your appreciation for him? And do you think we could go out and maybe find another tight end or wide receiver? Well, let's get this out of the way quickly to make sure that we know that there is love for JD. Just a little bit of love. Just a smidge. This is a bro hug. Here we go. He's also way taller than me, by the way. Hug for JD. Lots of appreciation for JD. And then do you think we can go out and maybe find another tight end / wide receiver? If we were going to go out and get one of the two, it would be a tight end. I don't think the Broncos do this unless we're trying to buy at the deadline. So let me put it this way. First 8 weeks, Broncos go 6-2 or 7-1. And they really think, hey, we got a shot. Maybe you spend a third or a second rounder and you make it a push for one of the better tight ends in the league coming up on a contract year. Who knows? Who knows? Yes, correct. No, week 9. Yeah, it's like week 9. Yeah, it's the first week of November. So 3 weeks in September. Yeah, it's like week 8 or week 9. It's one of those two. All right. Shout out to you, Voss. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. And then we've got our final episode. A second-round pick for who? Honestly, Trey McBride. But Trey McBride. I think Michael Mayer. You could now I know that the Raiders would probably never ever want to trade with you, but the Raiders suck. So, and I know that Michael Mayer's time there has been tumultuous. So I would say you could probably get a Michael Mayer. Yeah. Michael Mayer, Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet from the Bears. They just drafted Sam Roush, who I freaking love. The Raiders believe they're coming up in the football world. Yeah, and pigs sometimes think they have wings and can fly. But it's not true. Well, Anthony, to be fair, I don't know that Dallin Bentley or Caleb Lohner is going to make the 53. We'll have to wait and see. I think Jolie will, but and Ingram won't be back. Ingram's not coming back next year. So if you lose Ingram, you've got Jolie, right? But we also don't know what Jolie is. So if I said out of the two, it could be a tight end. All right, let's jump in. Are we, what is the flow on, is it with code, without code? Say it again. Okay. Yep. Oh, okay. So it's not a traditional read on the second half. It's the lineup breakdown plus the code read. Okay, cool. That works. Thank you. Thank you. All righty. That's fine. Did they? Booyah. Here we go. It's my first one of 2026. Welcome to the very first 53-man roster projection from your guy Moose right here on the Broncos Breakdown, presented by Prize Picks. Use code HMA to get $50. Woo! Pause. I got it wrong. See, I knew that was going to happen at some point today. My bad. Hold on. Sorry. Start over. Whoa. All right. Pull that back up one more time. That little bar, the L3 down at the bottom half there. I made a mistake. Just really quick. Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. You don't have to push that, but like just make sure that that's okay. Cool. Starting over. Sorry. It is my very first one of these of 2026. The first 53-man roster projection for your Denver Broncos right here on the Broncos Breakdown. Welcome into the show. By the way, we are presented by Prize Picks, where if you use code HMA and play your first $5 lineup, you can win up to $150 in lineups if that first lineup hits. My name is Moose. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's show is going to be just what I had just said. It is going to be a 53-man roster projection. I only do this twice. I do this once before training camp and once right before the season begins. I predict the whole 53-man roster right before training camp, the same after training camp ends and before preseason ends. And keep in mind that we have not seen anybody play on the field yet, so, hey, don't sue me if anybody on this list ends up taking, a big step forward. All right, before we jump into the full roster breakdown, do me a favor, if you could, follow me over on X. We are climbing to 1,500 followers, trying to get there before the season begins, even before the preseason begins. Moose_NFL. All of that is in the comments and description of today's video, by the way. Let me take a sip of water because I am, struggling to find my breath. All right, there we go. All right, without further ado, let's jump right in. The quarterbacks, I think the Broncos keep 2. Bo Nix, obviously, at number 1. And then Sam Ehlinger, I think, wins QB number 2. You're seeing a lot in the NFL now that most teams will only keep 2 quarterbacks, specifically if they know that they've got the guy, right? Some teams that are a little bit more like the Browns, they're a little bit more wishy-washy at the quarterback position. They might keep 3 on the roster, but I'm going to say that Broncos only keep 2. You're probably wondering, what happens to Stiddy? I think they trade him. Moose believes Stiddy gets traded before week 1. Who that is, I have no idea. But I'm sure we'll see that at some point. That's just my hot take on Jarrett Stidham. Let's move right on along to the running backs here. And I think they go with 4. J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, Jonah Coleman, and Jaleel McLaughlin. I have flirted back and forth with the idea that the Broncos would only keep 3 running backs, but I think mostly because of the injury to J.K. Dobbins and his history, I think Jaleel probably ends up being the 4th running back on this, but I don't think he gets a lot of, game day dresses, right? He's a healthy scratch, on the lineup, which would leave Tyler Bidet and Cody Schrader as your practice squad running backs. For the most part, all the guys that I don't list on the 53-man roster, they are prime practice squad candidates. Let's just be very for real about that. I'm not just dumping them on the side of the road. All right, let's move right along to the wide receivers. I think we keep 6. Cortland Sutton, Jalen Waddle, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, Patty Ice, and Hakeem Butler. No little Jordan Humphrey on this list for everybody. I do believe Hakeem is a slightly better wide receiver at this point. I'm sure that little Jordan is a little bit more acclimated to the NFL speed and style so that he's got a little bit of an edge there. But I think Hakeem got signed for a reason. I think they want to have him on this 53. Everything comes down to training camp, but again, we'll see. This is just a predictions video. So practice squad wide receivers then would be that little Jordan Humphrey and Michael Bandy see their way onto the practice squad. Also, by the way, I don't think I need to say it, but I'll say it anyway. There's 90-something players right now on the roster currently. A lot of guys are going to be moved to the practice squad. I don't have time to name every single player. I'm just naming guys that are standout players, people that you guys know and have played some point last year. So Lil Jordan and Michael Bandy, I think, end up getting practice squad spots, which leads us to our tight ends. Evan Ingram, Adam Troutman, Justin Jolie, Caleb Lohner. Adam Prentice is on the tight end list, but he's a fullback. That's why he's got an asterisk next to his name, but I think they combo that because he's also a blocker, and they will use him in some tight end sets, as like a tight end 3 or kind of like an H-back. But I think, Caleb Lohner makes this squad. I do. For right now, I got this gut feeling. I think Caleb Lohner is going to make the 53. 6'7", man. He's going to be a red zone threat, in my opinion. And unfortunately, if you're a Dallin Bentley stan, that means he ends up making the practice squad. Same with Nate Adkins and Lucas Kroll. I have no problem with these two not making the 53. Dallin Bentley, I've gone back and forth with. I'm like, oh, man. It's either him or Lohner. That makes the 53. But right now, gut feeling, gut moose, I'm going Caleb on the 53. I've got more 53-man roster projections coming your way. Before I get to it, though, I do have to remind you guys, today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at SeatGeek. The wife and I, every single weekend, are looking to do fun stuff, especially during the summer when the weather is hot, scorching hot down here in Dallas, Texas. But if you want to get out to your next event, whether it is a concert or a ball game, like a Denver Broncos football game, you got to download the SeatGeek app today and start your shopping immediately. Your next set of Denver Broncos tickets is on SeatGeek waiting for you. The cool thing about them, they rate their tickets on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. And as you see right there on the screenshot, they've got green dots, yellow dots, red dots. Green means good, yellow means middle, and red means bad. So look for the green dots always. And it wouldn't be a Chat Sports episode without a code for you. So use code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of Denver Broncos tickets on SeatGeek. That's CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of Denver Broncos tickets on SeatGeek. Make sure that you use the link in the comments and description of today's video to have that code automatically added to your account. And thank you to our friends at SeatGeek. Here's the Broncos' offensive line. That's the next one up. I think the Broncos keep 9 of them. Garrett Bowles, Ben Powers, Luke Wattenberg, Quinn Miners, Mike McGlinchey, Cage Casey, Alex Palczewski, Mr. Palcho, Frank Crum, and Alex Forsyth. I don't think there's a ton new here from last year outside of Cage Casey, and he subs in for Matt Parrott. You could make the argument here that like a Tyler Miller could end up making it, but maybe Nick Gargiulo on this as well. I just don't know. It's tough because really you only keep like 9 to 10. And you're definitely going to keep all of these guys. There's no doubt. So in terms of offense, I've got 26 players, which would be kind of like right on track because 26 offense, 26 defense, but then you've got 3 special teamers, so that would equal 55. So you're going to see a little bit of a cutting down here as we move on to the defense. And we will start with the Hog Mollies up front. Broncos defensive line. I'm going to go Zach Allen, DJ Jones, Malcolm Roach, Savion Jones, Ioma Uwazurike, Tyler Onyedem, and Matt Henningsen. I think the Broncos keep 7 here. Now, last year they only kept 6, if I remember correctly. But I think they keep 7 mostly because John Franklin Myers is out the door. So they're going to want to keep as much rotational help there, specifically because I do believe that Malcolm Roach, Savion Jones, and Ioma Uwazurike are going to be those 3-man rotations for that JFM spot, which leaves Jordan Jackson off this list. You got to let somebody off of it, right? And he only had 7 tackles last year. I know that he's good against the run as well, but the coaching staff has been really high on Matt Henningsen. Last year, he ended up with that, was it an ACL or a Achilles tear? It was one of the two. It was bad. So he's back healthy, according to everybody that's been seeing him, and they think he's going to make the 53. So I'll say Matt Henningsen over Jordan Jackson, which pivots to the inside linebackers. Alex Singleton, Justin Stranad, Red Murdoch, and Terrian York. Now remember, inside linebackers, not the edge rushers as well. They're coming up next. Alex Singleton for sure, Stranad for sure, Red Murdoch and Terrian York. I love me some Lavelle Bailey, right? I love me some Karene Reed, but I'm going to say Murdoch and Terrian York are probably the 2 most talented behind Alex Singleton and Justin Stranad. So these are my 4 inside linebackers. This one's pretty easy to me, which also, easily enough goes to our Broncos edges. And what do you see? Nick Bonito, Hugh Robinson, Jonah Ellis, Andre Tillman. I don't think the Broncos retain Jonathan Cooper. I think they cut him. I could be way wrong about that. I hope I'm way wrong about that in a football perspective. If he is found guilty, and of course it's innocence until proven guilty, but if he is found guilty, I don't think the Broncos want someone like that on their team. We're just going to have to wait and see. I mean, he is going up for his court date here in like 2 days. So we're going to have some news one way or the other. But Jonathan Cooper, I do not think gets retained by the Broncos. That is another hot take of mine. Let's move on to the defensive backs, starting with the corners. I think they keep 5. This is probably the easiest 5 picks here on the list. Pat Surtain, Riley Moss, Jahdae Barron, Daquan McMillan, Chris Abrams-Drain. I mean, it feels pretty light at that position, but those are some of the 5 best in the NFL. It's not close. Those guys rock. So I'm going to say DB depth chart feels a little bit lighter than some of the other positional groups, which is not a bad thing. It's just, it is what it is. I really don't see anybody else taking any spot away from any one of those 5. So I think the Broncos keep 5 cornerbacks. Now, I've got my safeties coming up last, and then I've got my special teamers. Before I get to those, got to remind you, today's second sponsor of today's episode is our friends over at Prize Picks. Every single day is a whole lot of fun to play and win real cash while watching sports if you are a big Prize Picks user like I am. So if you sign up right now, use code HMA2 sign up, and you play your first $5 lineup, you can get $150 in lineups if that first lineup hits. That's how cool playing Prize Picks is right now. They've got deals upon deals all over the place. You pick your player, the more or the less on their stat projections, you lock it in, and you watch your money multiply. I got a little bit of Bryce Harper out here. I've got Kyle Schwarber on here. I've got Shohei Ohtani. It might be a little bit of chalk, but I'm going the Moors on all 3 of them. So what you do, use code HMA immediately to sign up. Play $5, get $150 in lineups if that first $5 lineup hits. All of that in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Safeties. Brandon Jones, Talanoa Hufanga, Devin Key, and J.L. Skinner. Now, Tyson Anderson, you're probably thinking, well, didn't we just sign him? Why would he not make the 53-man roster? There's only 53 spots. Key and Skinner were your 2 best special teamers all of last year. And I know Anderson is really good, but maybe they just signed him for depth. Maybe they just signed him in case of emergency. Like, let's say J.L. Skinner got hurt or Devin Key ended up taking more relevant snaps at that third safety spot. You could elevate him throughout the season. And that, of course, would leave Miles Scott as well on the practice squad. But that's okay. He's still learning the position. I think he needs time to really grow into his own. And then your final 3, the special teamers, Will Lutz, Jeremy Crawshaw, and Mitchell Fraboni, your long snapper. There's your 53 right there. I don't mind this. I think this is I think it's a really damn good roster prediction. I might be off on a couple of people, right? Like Jonathan Cooper, I might be wrong about. I might be wrong about Caleb Lohner. But outside of that, maybe a defensive lineman here or there. I thought I did all right. What do you think? Just follow me on Twitter if you could, or Instagram. It's the exact same handle, Moose_NFL. And as always, Broncos country, quick little mile high salute. Be cool. Cornbread thinks that J.L. Skinner's getting traded.
Really? That was a quick live today.
Yeah, it was. Very
Got through
quick.
that quick.
Only an hour and 9.
Appreciate it, Bass. I almost said Voss.
Well, what happened in production? Did something... Additional authentication. Oh, they're doing thumbprints now, I guess, for Dropbox. It's weird.
Huh.
Thank you, Voss. I appreciate your kind words. All righty, that's all we got for today, my friends.
That's all we got. That is all we got.
Did you guys enjoy the show?
Hope so.
I am like...
Worked real hard on this.
I have got some severe forearm pain right now. I don't know why. It's probably because I've been working out recently and like lifting up the actual weight, so they might be fatigued. But
Probably.
it literally feels like they like hurt. They're like achy.
Gotta train the forearms. Gotta get them strong.
Gotta get them strong. Tommy says he missed the whole thing. That's all right, Tommy.
It's all good. We'll have these cuts pushed out throughout the week for you to catch. So be on the lookout for those. It's all good.
All right, y'all. I am going to take on off. JD, enjoy your vacation, my friend. You've only got about an hour's left worth of work, and then you're off.
Get out of here.
You are getting off. Jake Peters says, do you miss being a coach?
How did you know I was a coach? I don't remember saying I was a coach. I was a coach, though. Yeah.
Dr. Checkmate, see you, my friend. It's great to see you. Hey, by the way, guys, we are going live for the Hall of Fame game. We are going live for the Hall of Fame game. So if you want to join for some actual football, we'll join as a community. It's not the Broncos, Cardinals versus Panthers, but it's still football. So we're going to do it. All right, that's all we got. Take it easy. Mile high salute. Be cool.